Let's move to Unit 10, Unit 9, getting on together. What does it mean, getting on together? What does it mean, getting on together? To meet, to socialize, yes, okay. To get on together, it means to meet or socialize. Now, let's look at these sentences and test your grammar. Look at these pairs of sentences. You have 6 pairs. I want you to study them very carefully and to tell me which of these pairs is a fact and which one is a possibility. Let's look at the first one. Which one is a fact? I must be ill or I am ill? I am ill. Okay. What about the second one? She's having a shower is a fact. Okay, number 3. That isn't your bag is the fact. Number 4. Huh? Speak up, speak up. Raise your hands and speak up. You have met, okay, my brother, this is a fact. Okay. Next, number 5. They haven't met the president. And the last one, Shakespeare lived there. Very good. Okay. So, those are the facts because they are using simple present tense. Okay. Simple past, present perfect, present progressive, or past progressive. What about the others? What about the others? They are using what? Huh? They are using what? Can't, can, might, okay, and could. All of these are, and must, okay, all of these are what? Modal verbs, and we will know now why, okay, do we use them. Move down to the grammar spot very quickly, and let's look at these sentences which you have in your book. Page 71. Which sentence is the most sure? Which 2 sentences are less sure? Which one, okay, is the most sure? Very good. They must be rich is the most sure. They might be rich and they could be rich are what? Are less sure, and they show what? Possibility. We will see this. How are we going to apply this rule in the reading passage which we are going to move to after this practice? Let's take a practice. He's very late. Match it would be. Okay, he might be stuck in a traffic jam. Why I cannot say he must be stuck at the traffic jam? We are not sure. Okay, why? Give me another reason. But all of these shows possibility, we said. Because we didn't know the reason, because there are many reasons, okay, which maybe, okay, he might overslept. He might, okay, drive, okay, he might, okay, drive his car. He might have been driving his car very slowly, at a slow speed, right? Okay, so we have more than one reason. Okay, let's look at number 2. They aren't answering the door. They must be out. Very good. Sally, okay, Sally thought she would do well in the exams. She can't be happy with her results. I'm not sure where Jenna is. She could be at the library, and you have been working for hours. You must be tired. Very good. Okay, so when I am not sure, I use might or could. When I am much more certain, we use what? Must. Okay, but all of these shows what? Possibilities. It doesn't mean that it's a fact or I am 100% sure. Today we are going to discuss a story. I hope that you are going to like the story. The Man Who Planted the Trees, on pages 74 and 75. But before we move into the story, I just want you to look at this quotation on the board, which you already have on page 74, okay, in exercise 1. Only when the last tree has died and the last river has been poisoned and the last fish has been caught will we realize that we can't eat money. Take 1 to 2 minutes, think about, okay, this quotation and tell me what does it mean. What do you think this means? Any idea? Yes, sir. Money is not important. Okay. Nature is much more important than money. This could be one meaning. Very good. This could be one meaning. Okay. What else could it mean? What else could it mean? Yes, please. Yes, Haneen. Reem, sorry. We have to care, okay, about our nature. We have to take good care of our nature. We have to take good care of our nature. Okay. Why? Why, Reem?
Because it's our
What is specifically, okay, how do we benefit from our nature? What did he mention here? Why did he mention the river, the fish, and the tree? What's the importance of trees? Fresh air only? What about crops? What about food? Okay, fine. When do people realize that they cannot eat money?
When everything is gone.
When everything is gone, let me give you, okay, this situation. Imagine that you have a lot of money, okay, and you are in a desert land where there is no rivers, there is no, okay, water, there are no rivers, no water resources, no food supplies. What will money do for you? Nothing. So, if our nature has gone, then we will end up having what? Nothing, and then our life will stop. We cannot live. What is the benefit of having a lot of money, but we don't have food, okay, to buy? Right? There are no crops, no tomatoes. So I will eat half kg instead of 1 tomato? Of course not. So people will never be capable of eating money if they harm their nature and pollute the rivers, okay, and the earth. Okay? Fine. Another meaning? When else would people realize that they can't eat money? When? Something else. You said this already. Give me another possibility. Huh? When they die. When they die, when they are buried under the sand, okay, people around them will realize that they were not capable of taking anything with them when they die. You only take your good deeds with you. This is your only company, okay, when you are in your graveyard. So always think about this. So people, okay, when it's too late, when they pollute, okay, the environment, they would realize that they cannot eat money. Okay, look again at this quotation and tell me, and look at number 2. Who do you think could have said this quotation? Who do you think could have said this quotation? Could it be said by a political leader, a French farmer, a fisherman, an ancient Greek philosopher, or a Native American? If you say yes, tell me why. If you say no, tell me why. Yes, sir. Speak up, please. I think it's a Native American. When you are giving possibilities, what is the grammatical rule that you should use? It must be. Are you sure? It could be, or it might be. Okay, it could have been said by whom? A Native American. Why? Why, Sarah? On the basis of what did you choose this, or you make your guessing?
Because I think Native Americans know the land better than modern
The Native American is what?
Knows the land, knows everything about nature.
Knows what?
The land.
The land?
Yeah.
Okay.
Knows everything about nature.
So we don't know about nature?
No, we know, but nothing. Not like him.
We know or we care? Is it a matter of knowledge or caring?
We know, but we don't care.
Okay, we know but we don't care. So he's fully realized, okay, he's fully aware of what's going around, okay, of nature.
Because he's already there. You know,
He lives in nature. Native Americans used to live in nature. So they appreciate nature better than us, better than a political leader. Okay, fine. This could be one possibility. Okay, what about the others? What about the others? Yeah? Huh? What about the others? Think, yalla. Huh, ladies? What's wrong? It could be said, it could have been said by an ancient Greek philosopher. I would tell you, it can't be said by an ancient Greek philosopher. I'll tell you why. Why did you choose an ancient Greek philosopher?
Because maybe he knows about the history.
He knows
The history of nature.
the history of nature. Does nature have history? Huh?
From the beginning of life.
Do you know why did I tell you it can't be an ancient Greek philosopher? First of all, the only thing that philosophers care about is the humanity and the human being, to understand the human being and his existence. This is number one. The second thing is, Greek philosophers, basically, since it is ancient, okay, they are ancient Greek philosophers. What was the language that they used? Greek or Latin? Latin, okay? And their language, as a philosopher, your language would be what? Because philosophy plays with language. What kind of language do they use? Highly elevated and complicated kind of language, right? And this quotation is written in very easy, simple language. There is no single word which is difficult or complicated, right? So they use elevated style of language. And this is a simple quotation. These are simple words. Do you agree or not? So could it be said by an ancient Greek philosopher? Of course no. So here what do we say? It can't be. Why? It can't be. It means I am much more certain, okay, than being, okay, having a possibility. Okay, fine. It is, okay, it must have been said by a Native American, but I will tell you, Sarah, wallahi, okay, not because of the reason you mentioned. What you have said, okay, is correct. They are fully aware, okay, and they realize well and appreciate nature, okay. But the real reason is that who invaded and attacked the Native Americans? We have taken this in Unit 3, right? Who invaded the Red Indians? The white Americans. What did they do when they came, okay, to America? Okay, they attacked the Red Indians. They killed them. They stole, they occupied and colonized their lands. They occupied their lands. What did they turn the lands into? The green lands were turned into what? What did Michael Doyle said, okay, in Unit 7? They built instead what? Skyscrapers, right? Okay. What is the importance of all of these buildings when you lose your green lands? Are these buildings going to bring you food? Of course no. So here he's criticizing what the white Americans have done, okay, to the green land of America. He is criticizing, okay, their, okay, quest, okay, of money. So money wouldn't do anything if we stop having green lands. So we're not going to eat money. Okay? Fine. Now today we are going to read a story. Look at number 3. We are going to read a story about the man who planted the trees. And this story has been written by the French writer Jean Goyono. When was he born?
He was born in 1825.
What about the others? Is it only Sarah and Dream? Yalla, speak up. Huh? When was he born? Raise your hands. When was Goyono born? I'm reading number 3. Huh? Yalla, ladies, don't be a boring class. Huh? When was he born? What's wrong with you, Malak? Are you awake?
Yes.
Okay, fine. When was Goyono born? Look at number 3 on page 74. Page 74. 74. Huh? Speak up, speak up. In 1985? 1895. And Malak, when did he die? In 1971. In the story, Goyono describes his meetings with a solitary shepherd. What is the meaning of solitary? What is the meaning of solitary? Alone, yes. Okay, he's living alone, solo. Shepherd, you know the meaning of shepherd. Taking good of cattle, sheep. Okay? Yeah? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a shepherd. All messengers were so, right? Okay. Who plants trees while the rest of the world is at war. Look at the date when Goyono was born and when he died. Which war could it be that he's going to describe? World War I? Or both of them? 3, we don't have World War III. Okay, so it could be World War I. It could be World War II. It could be both because he lived during this whole period, right? Okay, so this man was planting trees while everybody else was at war. Okay? Let's look at extract 1 and listen to the story and see what's going to happen.
Tape script 9.6. About 40 years ago, I was taking a long trip on foot over mountain heights unknown to tourists. All around was barren and colorless land. Nothing grew there but wild lavender. After 5 hours walking, I had still not found water. All about me was the same dryness, the same coarse grasses. I thought I saw in the distance a small black silhouette. It was a shepherd. 30 sheep were lying about him on the baking earth. He gave me a drink and took me to his cottage on the plain. I felt peace in the presence of this man. I asked if I might rest here for a day. He found it quite natural. He gave me the impression that nothing could surprise him. I didn't actually need to rest, but I was interested and wished to know more about him.
Okay, why do you think he wants to know more about him? Why is the writer interested to know more about this farmer or this solitary shepherd? He's surprised about what, Fidda? Why is the writer surprised? Is it because he gave him, okay, he allowed him to, because all of us are, Arabs are very benevolent and generous. Whenever you have a guest, definitely you are going to serve them and give them food and a place to rest, right? I mean, this is not something to be amazed at or to be surprised for, right? Okay. Where does this farmer live? Where does he live? In the mountain areas, okay, in the mountain heights. What's wrong of these mountain heights? Look, yes, they are unknown to tourists. Is there anybody else except that shepherd? No. And what's wrong with these mountains? Look at the description here. All around was barren and colorless land. What does it mean, barren? Yes, just like desert-like. It is a desert like, colorless. It means it's not a green land. It's not a suitable place for living. Can you live in a desert land alone? Okay. Who was with him? Is he single or married? Does he say that he's single? Huh? Is he married? Do you think that we don't know? Very good. We don't know. Who lives with him? 30 sheep were lying about him, okay, on the baking earth. Look at the description. The baking earth. As if the earth is an oven. It boils with high temperature. Why? Because it's a desert. Have you ever tried to go to the desert in August?
No.
Or July?
No.
Why, Sarah? Can you even trod or step on the sand while you are not, without wearing any shoes? Of course no. Why? It's boiling, okay? It's baking, and you will find there snakes and wild animals there. Only, okay, wild animals and snakes can live there. So the writer was really curious and interested to know how could this solitary shepherd live alone along with his 30 sheep in this deserted place. Okay, fine. We said that the story is taking place in France. Okay, look again at line 1. I was taking a long trip on foot over mountain heights unknown to tourists. Which area could be this area in France? He's talking about which mountain heights in France? Yes, very good. It must be the Alps because it's the only mountain heights, okay, in France. Very good, sir. It must be the Alps because it's the only mountain heights in France. All was there, okay, nothing was there but wild lavender. Okay, wild lavender and what? Coarse grasses. What does he mean by coarse grasses? That or very, okay, very dry? Very dry because there is no water. It's a desert land, it's colorless land. I thought I saw in the distance a small black silhouette. What does it mean, a silhouette? What does it mean, a silhouette? He saw from the distance a small black silhouette. It was a shepherd. So what does it mean, silhouette? Shadow. Shadow, not a mirage, shadow. Okay, silhouette means shadow of a man. Okay? I felt peace in the presence of this man. Why? Have you ever been afraid of a farmer?
Yes.
Yes? Who is afraid of a farmer? What is it? Sarah, speak up, speak up. When you speak up. A stranger. I didn't say a stranger. Okay? I said, if you deal with a farmer, are you going to be afraid of a farmer? No. Why? Why? He's a human being at first, okay. And if he's taking good care of plants, do you think that he is going to harm you? Huh?
No.
Of course no. Of course no. Okay? So that's why he felt peace with the presence of this man. Okay. How old do you think is this farmer? Any idea? Give me a guessing. Try to guess. 40. Why 40? He said 40 years ago. He's talking about the story now. So he's not talking about the age of this, okay, shepherd. Huh? 70? Okay. 70 and living alone? He hasn't made any family, any company? Can you live up to the age of 70 alone? Can you? If you are a farmer? Okay, what about strong body but nobody to care for you? 70 years? Could you do this? Could anybody do this? Even heaven cannot be... What's your name? Amani. Even heaven cannot be trodden if you are going to be alone. Right? Can you live alone even in heaven? 70 years? Of course. Okay, we will see. Let's see, okay, how old is this man by paying attention to extract 2. Listen carefully, and you will know the answer.
Tape script 9.7. I noticed that he carried for a stick an iron rod as thick as my thumb and about 1.5 meters long. He began thrusting his iron rod into the earth, making a hole in which he planted an acorn. Then he refilled the hole. He was planting oak trees. I suppose I must have been fairly insistent in my questioning, for he answered me. For 3 years he had been planting trees in this wilderness. He had planted 100,000. Of the 100,000, 20,000 had sprouted. Of the 20,000, he still expected to lose half. There remained 10,000 oak trees to grow where nothing had grown before. That was when I began to wonder about the age of this man. He was obviously over 50, 55 he told me. His name was Elzéar Bouffier. I told him that in 30 years his 10,000 oaks would be magnificent. The next day we parted.
The next day they parted. What does it mean that they parted? They were separated, yes, they left each other. Each one, okay, went in his own way. Okay, look at, okay, the bottom of page 74. Do you see a picture of that farmer? Okay, what is he carrying with him? Iron rod, iron stick. Okay, what does he want this iron stick for? To make a hole, to dig holes, okay, in the ground. Why is it made of iron? Why it's not from wood? Because it's a desert place, so the sand, okay, the soil is very solid. He needs, okay, to push with force. So what was he doing? He was pushing with force, okay, because the land is very dry, okay? What is the verb that they use in the passage to tell you that he was pushing with force to make holes? Thrusting, very good, sir. Thrusting his iron rod into the sand to be capable of making an iron rod. Okay, now, next to this iron rod in the picture, what do we see here? Seeds, okay, of acorns. What are these acorns for? For an oak tree. Very good. These are the seeds of oak tree. Where did he put them? Where did he put these? Look at the picture. Where did he put these seeds?
Inside the hole.
Inside what? No. I mean, when he took them, okay, to plant them, where did he put them? In a basket? What is he carrying with him here? A bag? Is this a bag or a sack? Sack. And what do we mean by a sack? It's just like a bag made of cloth, but it doesn't have zip to close. It's open, okay, it's front. So he put these acorns in a sack and carried them the following day. How long has he been planting these trees, oak trees? 50? 3 years he had been planting, and still he's insistent to plant more. How many, oak trees did he plant? 100,000. How many of them sprouted? How many of them grew up? 20,000. How many of them did he expect to stay alive? Half of the 20. So how much? 10,000. Okay? 10,000. So this means 1/10 of what? Of the whole 100. Now, let me ask you this question, and I want you to be sincere and honest. If I came and tell you, I would, give you 100,000, acorns to plant. But listen, out of these 100,000, only 10,000 of them are going to stay alive, to sprout. Honestly speaking, are you going to plant these 100,000? Who would say yes? Honestly. Who would say yes? Anybody? And that's why we usually fail in our life. How old is this farmer? 55 years old. He's so energetic, so dedicated, hard-working person. He insists on planting in the desert because if you keep trying, you will succeed. What do we do here? We usually, and easily give up. We easily give up. Okay? So you have to know that if I want to succeed in life, follow El-Zayard Bouffier. He's 55 years old and he lives in the desert and he insisted in, growing these plants. Although he knew at the back of his mind and he expected beforehand that those, 100,000, he's going to lose more than half of them. And he will only be left with what? 1/10 of those 100,000. So El-Zayard Bouffier teaches us how to be dedicated, how to be hard-working people, how to have commitment, insistence, keep trying. If you fail from our mistakes, we learn. If in writing task 1 I didn't do well, I still have the midterm. If in the midterm still I I failed in the writing, I still have writing task 2. So I still have one more opportunity. Keep trying. Hard work, care, and dedication will always yield perfect results. So think about this in writing task 2. I may ask you about this, Which is much more important, luck or hard working? Of course hard working. Because with your hard working, you depend on yourself, you become patient, you learn how to be patient, you know the meaning of patient, right? And definitely you will succeed. If not today, then in the future. And it teaches us how to always keep hope, how to be ambitious, how to have definite plans for the future, how to be optimistic and to think that the future is going to be extremely well, right? So he's 55 years old and he didn't give up. And now how old are you? How old are you? Maybe the eldest here is how? 30? Are you 30? Fine. So the eldest here is 30. 25 years old difference between, 25 years difference between Amani and El-Zayard Bouffier. And no one of you, said that they are going to plan this. Which means that my students easily give up. That's why, they lack self-confidence and trust. If you keep trying, you will be successful one day. If not now, then in the future. You just always, have to trust yourself and believe in your abilities. Fine. From our mistakes we learn. You remember when I talked about William Shakespeare? He said, to err is a human. What is the meaning of to err? To make mistakes, to make errors, right? So this is a human nature. But with hard work, with dedication, with insistence, to succeed, you will succeed one day. Fine. Now, El-Zayard Bouffier, is 55 years old. And this story occurred 40 years ago. So when do you think this story took place? When do you think this story took place? You're making calculations. Try to guess. Try to guess. 1915? It could be 1915. 50? He said 40 years ago, this story occurred. And at that time, El-Zayard Bouffier was 55 years old.
I know, here,
1895, this is when Guyono, the writer, was born. Haneen. Yes, concentrate. No, we have Guyono, the writer, And we have El-Zayar Boufier, the hero of the story, the farmer. Let's see. Let's look at extract 3. It says, for the next 5 years, the writer is a soldier and fights in World War I. So how old do you think the writer is in World War I? When do people go to war? At the age of what? 18. When they are formally 18. So the writer could be 18, he could be 19, he could be 20, or in this range, okay? Fine. The war ends in 1918. And his thoughts turn again to the tree planter in the mountains. He returns to look for him. Now here is my question. Do you think that El-Zayar is still alive at that time, or he's dead? Answer. What do you think? You don't think so? You don't think what?
I don't think he's still alive.
Okay, so you think that he's dead. Fadda?
I think he's alive.
Alive. What about you? Dead. What about you? Alive. Amani? What do you think? Dead or alive? What do you think? Guess. Try to guess. Okay, alive. Malak? Dead. Deep? Alive. Okay, what about you? Dead, Dead. Dead. Alive, Alive? Okay, how many of you said alive? Raise your hands. Definitely he must be alive. Is he involved with war? Does he have anything to do with the war that is going on? No, he's living alone. He's living in nature. He's living a healthy style. He's 55 years old, but he acts as if he is 19 or 20 years old. He's breathing fresh air. He's eating healthy food. Who lives longer? People who live in the countryside or people who live in the city? Countryside. Because of the pressure of everyday life, people who live in the city are always tense. That's why they suffer from heart attacks and hypertension, right? Just like Miss Haneen suffering from hypertension because of her students, because they are not participating. What's wrong with you today? Why are you so dizzy and sleepy? Wake up, okay? Participate. Come on, this is one of the most beautiful stories, okay, that I have ever read, okay? Because it teaches us a lot of lessons. El-Zayar Boufier is much more energetic than the whole of you, or even your teacher, right? Okay, so let's see if he's still alive or not. Let's listen to extract 3.
Tape script 9.7. I noticed that he carried for a stick an iron rod as...
This is extract 2, sorry.
Tape script 9.8. I had seen too many men die during those 5 years not to imagine that El-Zayar Boufier was dead.
See? Not to imagine that El-Zayar Boufier was dead. Why? Because we said as an introduction of the story that this man was planting trees while everybody else was at war. So he is not involved at all in the war.
He was not dead. As a matter of fact, he was extremely well.
You remember in writing when we used as a matter of fact, and we said we used this, okay, logical connector to highlight something with importance, to make intensifying with importance. So as a matter of fact, he was what? Extremely well. Not only alive, but he is enjoying his extremely well, okay. He's extremely well, he's enjoying his health, good health. Okay?
He had changed jobs. He had got rid of the sheep because they threatened his young trees. For, he told me, the war had disturbed him not at all. He had continued to plant.
What does he mean by the war had disturbed him not at all? It didn't bother him. He kept planting because he's living, okay, far away from this war.
The oaks were then 10 years old, and taller than both of us. It was an impressive spectacle. I was literally speechless, and as he did not talk, we spent the whole day walking in silence through his forest. It measured 11 kilometers in length and 3 kilometers at its greatest width. When you remembered that all this had come from the hands of this one man, you understood that men could be effective in other ways than destruction.
Okay, concentrate on this. Men, he means human beings, right? They could be effective in other ways than destruction. So who is better, a soldier or a farmer? A farmer builds, a soldier destroys. Okay, so definitely the farmer is much more valuable and productive. Now, at the beginning of the story, we described the land as what? Barren and colorless land. Now he describes it as what? A forest. All of this difference was on the hand of one man only. Why do you think Goyono is speechless now? Why do you think he's speechless? Why he couldn't say anything when he saw this forest?
Because he was surprised.
He was surprised, he was astonished, he was amazed. How could this person who is 55 years old, okay, how could he do all of this and achieve all of this? It's only done by one man. Okay, fine. And now the Alps is a touristic place, and it's one of the most beautiful touristic places that people visit. At the beginning it was a barren land and nobody even knew about it. Okay? But now it became a forest, and the spectacle, the view is what? Magnificent, impressive, amazing. Okay? Fine. Let's look at extract 4 and the description before extract 4. The writer returns for a final visit in 1945. Okay. In 1945. In 1913, he was, okay, El Zayat Boufier was 55 years old. In 1945, how old is he? Yalla, make your calculations, please. In 1913, we said that the story might occur in 1913, 14, or 15. Okay, if it occurred in 1913 and he was at that time 55 years old, in 1947, how old is El Zayat Boufier? You have to calculate this with pencil or pen, not in your mind, unless you are so talented. 88?
Yeah, 85.
80? 80 what?
85.
85, no. 52? He was 55 at the age of 1913. In 1947, how old is he? Huh? 86? No. No math, no science, no culture, no education, no geography, no chemistry, no philosophy. Huh? Haneen? 87. He is 87 years old. Go home and study subtraction, addition, multiplication. Shame on you. I always say that you are my good, okay, students, and this is, okay, one of the best sections. What's wrong with you today? You hate math, but these are simple mathematical problems. Okay, fine. So, in 1945, okay, after World War II, El Zayat is still alive. The writer is amazed at what he sees. Not only is there the forest, but houses and even villages have been rebuilt. So it became no longer a desert land. It became what? A populated, okay, forest and village. So people started to live there. Let's see what happens, okay, at the end of the story.
Tape script 9.9. The bus put me down in Vergon. In 1913, this village of 10 or 12 houses had 3 inhabitants. Nettles were feeding upon abandoned houses. Now everything had changed, even the air. Instead of the harsh, dry winds, a gentle breeze was blowing, laden with scents. A sound like water came from the mountains. It was the wind in the forest. I saw a fountain had been built. Ruins had been cleared away and 5 houses restored. Now there were 28 inhabitants, 4 of them young married couples. It was now a village where one would like to live. When I think that one man was able to cause this to grow from wasteland, I am convinced that in spite of everything, humanity is good. Elzéar Bouffier died peacefully in his sleep in 1947.
Okay, he died peacefully. So he died at which age? In 1945 he was 87. He died in 1947. So how old is he? 89? 89? 1945 he was 87. 1947 he was 89. Huh? Are you skeptic about this? Or this is for sure he's 89? Tell me. Okay, so he said, a sound like water came from the mountain. It was the wind in the forest. And he said, instead of the harsh, dry winds, a gentle breeze was blowing, laden with scents. What does it mean, laden? Full with fragrance, nice fragrance. Instead of the wild lavender and the coarse grasses, now they have a smell. Why? Because it became a green area. Right? Okay, so do you believe now that one person could make a difference? If I ask you about this in writing task 2 next week, can you think of this? You can use Elzéar Bouffier's story as an evidence, right? Think about this for next time. Think about this for writing task 2. Any question about the story? I hope that this story has taught you certain lessons, lifetime lessons. Any question? So far so good? Let's move now, to the vocabulary. To the vocabulary, page 76. Now, we have a quiz which is made up of 16 questions. What type of a person you are, and these are, questions which are related to describing a character or describing a personality. And we call them character adjectives. If you look at the exercise below this quiz, or this survey, which is exercise 3, you will find that each question describes a certain personality. And from each question, we are going to choose an adjective from exercise 3, which describes such personality. Let's look at question 1. I will do it with you. Then I will ask each one of you a question, and then you will answer with yes or no. Based on your answer, we will find you a character adjective that describes your personality. Ready? Okay, let's do the first one. Are you usually smiling and happy? I will ask Fatima. Okay. Are you usually smiling and happy? But you are smiling right now. Sarah is always smiling and happy, right? So Sarah is what? Look at exercise 3. Cheerful. When did we take cheerful? In unit 2. You remember when we talked about Dr. Lulu and Dr. Checkers? That their job is to cheer up sick children. So Sarah is cheerful. Let me ask Isra. Okay, Isra. Do you enjoy the company of other people? Do you like to be always with others? Yes, so Isra is what? Sociable. Very good. Sociable. Fadda. Do you find it difficult to meet new people? Yes. So Fadda is what? Shy. Sarah is done. Okay, Sarah. Do you have definite and specific plans for your future career? No, Sarah is not ambitious. She's not ambitious. Fatima, is your room often a mess or is it tidy? Tidy. Okay, so she is what? Tidy. You said your room is tidy. But if it is a mess, then you are untidy. Reem, do you get annoyed if you have to wait for anyone or anything?
Yes.
Yes, I'm asking Reem. Okay, so Reem is what?
Patient.
Impatient. And the opposite of impatient is what? Patient. Very good. Who's next to Reem? You name us? Fatima, do you put off until tomorrow what you could do today? What is the meaning of put off? In English? Cancel? In English? What does it mean to put off? We have taken this in phrasal verbs in year 7. To delay, to postpone. How about do you delay things? You don't? Okay, so she is not lazy. Okay, she's not lazy. What's your name, young lady? Your name? Ahlam. Ahlam, do you work hard?
Yeah.
I'm asking Ahlam, I'm not asking you. Ahlam, they are answering on your behalf. Okay, do you work hard, Ahlam? So you will work hard for writing task 2? Say, inshallah, I will do my best. So Ahlam is what? Hard working. I hope all of you are going to be hard working so you can achieve better results in your study. The lady there, Ines, Ines, do you keep your feelings and ideas to yourself, Ines, or you share it with others? You keep them? Yes? So Ines is what? Reserved. She doesn't like to express herself. Okay, let's go back to Isra. Do you often give presents, Isra?
Yes.
Yes, so Isra is what? Generous. What is the opposite of generous? Stingy. Not stingy. Sting, okay, a bee stings you. Okay, stingy, S-T-I-N-G-Y. Okay, Fadda, do you talk a lot? Sometimes. What about Sarah? She does. Okay, so Sarah is what? Talkative. Marwa, are you usually calm and not worried by things? No? So you can easily get angry? So she's not easy going. Do you think that I am an easy going teacher? Am I? I wish I could be.
You proved it to us
What? How?
when we asked for graduation that we cancel the
Fine, okay, yeah, listen, I mean, this is something, okay, this is something important and crucial, and easygoing or not being an easygoing person doesn't mean, okay, to be unemotional person. Okay, yeah, inshallah, I hope so. I hope to be always calm and not worried by things. Okay, but you know what, I get tense when exams comes near as if I am the one who's going to do the exam. Okay, not you. So I hope all of you are going to do well and to excel, okay, in your study. Okay, any question about these character adjectives? Any question? So far so good. Let's move now to the writing part. And today I have, okay, prepared something for you to discuss, okay, a problem which most of you are making mistakes and facing this problem. Now, in the exam and in writing task 1, many of you, okay, have committed such a mistake. Example, you come and say, there is a lot of people who travel abroad to work. There is a lot of people. This is a mistake. You have to say what? There are a lot of people. If you say there is, this is a fatal mistake. Why? When we talked about the sentence structure, we said that every sentence in the English language should have a verb. And this verb should agree with its subject. Right? So what do we call this rule in English? Subject-verb agreement. I would say John goes to school every day. But if I say John and Peter go to school every day. And this is subject-verb agreement. I am a teacher. You are students. You, I didn't say are. What's wrong with you today? Out of the coverage area. Okay? So I am a teacher. You are students. She is absent. She didn't come to class today. Okay? This is what I mean by subject-verb agreement. Can I say I has? I have. She has. They have. Very good. You should do your homework. Okay? She has done her homework. Can I say she has done her homework? No. So this is what we call subject-verb agreement. Today we have prepared for you, thanks to Mr. Haneen. Okay, he shared with us this presentation, valuable presentation, and I prepared a material, material for you on the LMS for extra practice and exercise on subject-verb agreement. So you are not going to commit this mistake, in the writing task 2 and the final exam. Pay attention to this because it's crucially important. If your subject-verb do not agree with each other and you mistakenly, write a plural verb for a singular subject or vice versa, then your mark will suffer, because the whole structure of the sentence will be disrupted. So please pay attention to this, and let's look at this presentation, which I hope it's going to be beneficial for you. Okay, fine. The first rule in subject-verb agreement says, a singular subject demands a singular verb. A plural subject, they, needs are or have, right? So it demands a plural verb. That is the simple principle behind subject-verb agreement. Now, rule number 1. Indefinite pronouns such as everyone, everybody, someone, each one, every person, all of these are dealt with as what? As singular. I would say, each one of you is expected to come on time to class. I couldn't say each one of you are. Each, I mean one person. I deal with it as what? Singular. Generally speaking, I mean the whole class. What is it? Yes. But please don't interrupt the class next time. Okay, fine. So, I couldn't say each one are expected. Each one is expected to come on time. Everybody is here, except no is absent today. I couldn't say everybody, are here. Everybody is here. So I deal with these words as what? As singular, and that's why they take what? Singular verb. Let's see an example. Everyone associated with the project is, proud to be part of the effort. Let's take another example. Someone has to be responsible. Someone has. I couldn't say have, so I deal with it as a singular verb. Now, don't be confused by phrases that come in the middle between the subject and the verb. So associated with the project will never confuse you. Associated with the project, this is prepositional phrase and this is a descriptive kind of clause. So the subject is everyone. I am interested with the verb. Don't worry about what's come in the middle. This is stuffing of words or more description, or we call it modifying phrases that modify the subjects or describes the subject or adds more information to the subject. So this shouldn't affect, okay, the subject and the verb that agree with it. Okay? Example. Each of the project partners, where is the subject here? Each. Okay, so the verb is. Although here, what do we have? Of the project partners, prepositional phrase. Partners is plural. Does it affect, okay, the subject and the verb? It does not. Prepositional phrases are weak. They come just to add extra information to the subject. So here I am interested in the subject, which is each, and the verb should agree with each, regardless of the verb partners. Okay? Any question about this rule? Rule number 1? Any question? So each one, everyone, someone, everybody, don't write anything. I will upload this on the LMS. You will find it on the LMS. I just want you to understand them. Okay? All of these words or phrases, I deal with them as what? Singular subject, and that's why they demand what? A singular verb. Okay? So far so good. Shall we move to the next rule? Okay, good. Now, the verb that accompanies pronouns such as all and some will be determined by whether the pronoun is referring to a countable noun or uncountable noun. If the subject is countable, then I will use what? Plural verb. Or if it is uncountable, I will use singular verb. Furniture, oxygen, water, all of these we deal with them as what? Singular, because they are uncountable nouns. When do we use this? When do we look at the word if it is countable or non-countable? If we have all or some. Let's see an example. Some of the students in the cafeteria have voted already. What is the noun here? Students. Plural or singular? Plural. That's why the verb is what? Have. Another example. Some of the green. The green is uncountable noun. That's why I used here what? Was. Okay, ruined by default. So whenever I use all or some, look at the noun that follows all or some. If it is countable, then plural. If it is uncountable, then I will use singular verb. Okay? So here he told you, students is countable, but we cannot count the green. It is one lump, one quantity, one unit. That's why we deal with it as single. Okay. None, on the other hand, is usually regarded as singular, but sometimes we deal with it as plural. Pardon. Let's study this example. None of the representatives has indicated how he or she will vote. Why did I say has, although representatives is plural? Because what do we have here? He or she, not and. He, singular. She, singular. Look at the second example. Or none of the representatives have indicated why. How they. They is plural, then I use have. He is singular, then I use what? Has. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Let's move to the next rule. With fractional expression, and I mean by fractions, 1/5, half, 1/4, 2/3, 2/5. We said 1/10 of the plants or of the acorns have sprouted, right? Why? Because acorns are what? But here I would say 1/5 of the water is left for me. Right? Why? Because water is what? Uncountable. That's why I said 1/5 of that water in the bottle is left for me. Okay? Let's look at an example. 2/5 of the grain. Countable or uncountable the grain? Uncountable. And that's why I use what? Is. Okay. Fine. Another example. 1/2 of the student. Countable or non-countable student? Countable. So here what did I use? We're convinced that there would be no final exams this year. Of all the returns we have counted so far, 50% in favor of the referendum. So returns countable, that's why we said have. Okay? A majority of the students, how many bodies do we have? 1. Okay, so what did I say here? Is in favor of asking the dean to stay. Another here. Clear? Shall we move on? Any question? So far so good? So always with decimals and fractions, look at the word if it is countable or non-countable. With all and some, again, look at the word if it is countable or non-countable, let's follow all and some. Let's move on. Now, let's look at this. Phrases such as together with, along with, and as well as seem to join subjects, but they do not work the same as and. They are not conjunctions. What are the conjunctions that we have learned so far? And, or, so, but, yet, and for. The others are what? Subordinated conjunctions. So we have only 6 conjunctions. These are close clause. Okay? So can we consider together with, along with, and as well as conjunctions? Can we? No, we cannot. Okay? And this is what you have to pay attention to. Let me give you an example before we move into the example in the PowerPoint presentation. We said a couple of minutes ago, John goes to school every day by bus. John is the subject, singular or plural? Singular. And that's why I said goes to school every day by bus. Okay. If I say John and Peter, so we will say go to school every day by bus. But if I say John as well as Peter goes. Why? Because as well as doesn't play the role of and. Okay? It has the same meaning, but in structure it doesn't have the same function. So as well as, together with, and along with, I deal with the verb as it is. If it is singular, then it's singular. If it's okay, plural, then it will take plural. Let's take one example here. Some of the hay in the barn. What do we have? Hay. Countable or uncountable? Uncountable. Hay. What is the meaning of hay? Hay, okay. Oh, listen. Hay, okay. When you look at the grass, when it becomes dry. Okay. So we call it hay. Ash. Okay. So even in Arabic, does it have an countable noun? No, it's uncountable. Okay? So this is what singular in the barn. As well as some major pieces of farm equipment, what did I say here? Was. Okay? Regardless of the word pieces of equipment. Again, another example. The major spending bill before Congress, together with some other bills that are awaiting action, is going to cost. Why? How many bills do we have? Only one. Okay? Now, in formal writing, when either and neither appears as a subject alone, without their side sidekicks, we have taken either and either in logical connectors as what? Correlative conjunctions, right? Either takes what? Either or, very good Marwan. And neither takes nor, okay? But if we don't have these sidekicks or and nor, if either and either are used alone, okay? What do we do in this case? They are what? Singular, okay? Even if the subject seems to be two things. Let's look at this question, at this sentence side. Neither of these choices appears to be satisfactory. Neither of these choices is plural. I'm talking about two choices. But neither is used alone without or, without nor. So what did I say here? Appears. I will put it as what? Singular. And that's why it demanded a singular verb. Okay? Let's take another example. The purchasing office will lend me a company car or compensate me for travel expenses. Either is. Why did I say is? Because there is no or. Either is used alone. So again, if either and either are used alone without or nor, and we do not use them as correlative conjunctions, then I will put them as what? Singular subjects, and they demand singular verbs. Okay? When either and neither or either and either act as correlative conjunctions, life becomes a little bit more complicated. Let's see why. Why? If we have either or and neither nor, okay, we have to look at the subject which is closer to the verb. The subject that is closer to the verb will agree with this verb. So I don't look at the beginning of the sentence. Let's look at this example. Neither the principal nor the teachers. We have principal and teachers. Principal is what? Singular. Or the teachers? Plurals. Which one is closer to the verb? Teachers. Teachers is plural, then immediately the verb would be what? Plural. Okay. Okay, Sarah, you got it now? I use it as a correlative conjunctions, as we have learned it in logical connectors, either or, neither nor. I have to think of the subject which is closer to the verb, then I decide. If this subject which is closer to the verb is singular, then it demands a singular verb. If this subject which is closer to the verb than the other subject is plural, then the verb should be what? Plural. Okay? Let's take another example. Either the teachers or the principal has. Why did I say has now? Because principal is closer than teachers. Principal is singular, while teachers are plural, is plural. Okay? So here I use what? Has. Okay? Now, here I have president or aides. President, singular or plural? Singular. Aides, plural. The assistants. Okay. But why did I say has? Very good. It's a question and has began the sentence. So, which is closer? President. And president is singular, then has, okay, should be singular verb. Okay? When an expletive construction, there is, or there are, okay, or here is the one that you always use. There is a lot of people, you always commit this mistake. There are many advantages, there are many reasons for traveling abroad or studying abroad. Always pay attention when you use there is and there are. When they begin a sentence, the subject which determines to the verb, the number of the verb, comes after comes, then what is after come? Joe and his two brothers. So it's not only Joe. If it was Joe, I would say here comes. Very good. Okay? If the management team takes this attitude, there is very little latitude. Latitude uncountable. So I said there is, okay, for negotiation, and so on and so forth. The last rule, okay, for subject-verb agreement, be careful when lengthy or numerous modifying phrases come between the subject and its verb. Let's look at this example. Do you know who is Tim Berners-Lee? Tim Berners-Lee is the one who invented the World Wide Web in the internet. He's the one to invent this. Tim Berners-Lee, one of the America's most prominent computer scientists, and as a founder of the World Wide Web Consortium, one of the most important figures in the development of the internet, has been working quietly at MIT for many years. All of this in the middle is what? Modifying phrases to whom? To Tim Berners-Lee. So what is the subject here? Tim Berners-Lee. So I'm talking about one person only, so the subject is singular. Regardless of the word scientists, regardless of the word figures, okay, what did I say? Has been working quietly at MIT. Okay? So I don't look at scientists and figures because my subject is singular, then the verb is singular no matter how long the sentence is, no matter how many modifying phrases do I put in between, I always look at the subject and decide the verb accordingly. Okay? With off phrases, try turning the sentence inside out. We try to reorder the sentence to find the right subject-verb combination. Now, here is my question. Look carefully at the sentence and tell me what do you think. Connecticut is one of those states that have or has adopted a state income tax. What do you think? Have or has? Has, because we have Connecticut. What about states?
States.
Huh? What do you think? What do you think? Huh? We have Connecticut. We have one. We have the states. What do you think? Have or has? How far to me? Both of, how both of them? You have to choose one. Has. 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 Have. Have. Don't tell me I don't know. Imagine you have to make decisions in life. There's no gray. It's either left or right. That's one thing. Has. Have. Been. Have. 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 Has. Okay. Fine. Who said has? Raise your hand. Has? Wrong. It is have. Why? Why? Connecticut is singular, right? What is the verb that followed it? Is. We're done with this. Try, okay, to turn it inside down. The sentence will become what? Of those states. The states have adopted income. And Connecticut is one of them. You got it now? So be careful when you use the off phrases. Okay? Be careful when you use off phrases. This makes it easy to figure out the verb that belongs in a relative clause. Okay? This is the end, okay, of our presentation. And I am going to give you the rest of the material about subject-verb agreement in a specific file which will be uploaded on the LMS by the end of this week. Study it carefully. I don't want you to commit any mistake in subject-verb agreement. Okay? You have to know that since we didn't discuss this problem, we haven't discussed it before, okay, I haven't deducted any marks for such, okay, mistake or problem. But now, since you know well how to write correct sentences with correct subject-verb agreement, okay, if you made mistakes, okay, in this, you would, okay, lose certain marks. Any question about the subject-verb agreement? Any questions so far, so good? Let's talk about, okay, the quiz now, which is going to be next week, and let's talk about the, let's take attendance, okay, and discuss the topics that you have to expect for the writing task 2. Do you have any question now about the subject-verb agreement? Any questions so far, so good? Was it helpful? Was it beneficial? Okay, did you enjoy this PowerPoint presentation? Fine. You will find it on the LMS. You can all the way go through, okay, go through it and make use of it.